Alright guys, here is where I store the device. Let's go ahead and see if we can open this up. There we go. And so what we have here is an ESP32. I don't know if you'll be able to read it or not. But there it is. It's just plugged in. I basically drilled a hole up and into the garage, and I ran that USB cord into there, and it's plugged in inside. Nothing special about it, that's it. Let's go ahead and cover it back up. It doesn't need anything else attached. The ESP32 already has built-in Bluetooth. So I'm going to step back here. I'm going to show you exactly where it's mounted. So there you go. It's probably hard to see because it's dark, but it's up under the corner of the garage there. You see the garage door. And then if you come over here, there's my vehicles. Normally that's where they're parked. The Suburban's usually parked where the Malibu is. And as long as the Suburban is facing this way, backed in, it updates pretty regularly. The truck should update just fine because the front of the vehicle is all open. How the Suburban is able to update, I don't know. It's all the way in the back corner, way back there. But it somehow still sends the signal. Ooh, there's a storm coming. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder. But they're probably 50 feet away or so from the monitor. Now, I thought about putting another one over up here in this garage, maybe up in that corner right there. But I mean, as long as the Suburban's parked facing this way, it updates just fine. So I think I'm just going to leave it with just one. But you can have multiples. You have to specify in the code, which I'll show you here in a little bit, how it monitors each one. So that's that. Let's go ahead, get inside where it's cool, and I'll show you how to set this up in Home Assistant. Alrighty everybody, I have you over here in my Home Assistant, and I have opened up my car battery monitor.yaml file. So inside of here is what controls everything for this little battery monitor. And I'll let you guys take a look at what I have here. This is just basically all the normal stuff you would have inside of ESP Home. Right here, we're enabling Bluetooth scanning for the ESP32. And that's the ESP32_BLE_tracker. And so once we have that in there, we can set up our sensors. And so basically I have my clients broken down as to what devices I want to monitor. And so I've got my Suburban. And this is the code that does the deciphering of the encryption, so it knows what data is being sent. And then we have the Challenger. This is the Challenger. And then we have the pop-up. And another thing that I've added here, and none of this is my own code. I mean, other people have deciphered this. They've come up with this information. I am just using code that's publicly accessible. Some of this comes from GitHub. Some of it comes from the Home Assistant community forum site. A couple of weeks ago, I was looking up some more information on this, and I found that somebody had posted on how to get the battery percentage based on the voltage that was being presented. And there's like and since there's like a set known percentage based on the voltage of a full-size vehicle battery, you can kind of guess as to what the percentage is going to be. And so that's what all of this information does right here. You know, it kind of says 12.7 is 100%, 11.31 would be 10%. And then these are the various stages at which they would reach 10, 20, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, blah, 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 blah. You understand what I'm saying. And then it can extrapolate the data in between. So if it's 12.4, it can determine, it's 15.3 0.25%. So that's what that does. And what else do we have? We have the suburban percentage. We have the pop-up percentage. And down on the bottom here, this is where I actually specify the MAC addresses of each of the clients. Or, I mean, like I said, I don't know if Bluetooth is also called MAC address or not. It's the same type of format, so that's what we're calling it. That's what they actually use for the code. So what we're going to do first, we are going to add the new MAC address for the truck, and I've already documented that. That was that number that was on the device itself. So we're going to just go ahead and copy that. I'm going to come down here. We're going to do dash space MAC, and we just hit tab. Well, we don't want to hit tab because it didn't work right. Let's go ahead and back that out. MAC address, and I'm going to paste what I just copied, and I'm going to give this an ID. And we're going to call it truck underscore voltage. I only have one truck, and so that's what I'm going to use. So now that we have that, the first thing I'm going to do, because we're already down here, is I'm just going to copy this one right here. And we're going to do the percentage first. And YAML is space dependent. So if you change your spacing like this, it's going to give you an error. So you have to have your spacing correct. We're going to call this one truck battery percentage. I wish it would stop popping that up. We're going to say truck underscore battery percentage. And we're just going to check anywhere else, see where else it may have pop up. There's another place. Truck. Guys, if you see any, point it out to me. I'm not seeing any others. I think that's it. All right, let's call that good. The reason I use the one for the pop-up is because the pop-up is not a GM. The pop-up is a lead-acid battery. So these are the lead-acid battery numbers. Okay, that all looks correct. Let's go ahead and scroll up to the top. And we're going to steal, we'll just do a copy of the pop-up again. We'll just take all this, we'll copy it, and we'll paste it right here, like so. And I just noticed that it decided it was going to change the spacing on me. Let's check and make sure it didn't do the same down here. That looks okay. All right, pop-up voltage. This is no longer pop-up voltage. This is truck voltage. This is truck voltage sensor. This name is truck voltage. And then we're going to go down just to make sure pop-up doesn't show up anywhere else. All righty. Let me just double check what we did. All right, guys, that looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to save it and install it. Actually, I think I don't even need to hit save. I can hit install and it will save it. All right, guys, let's hit install and see if we get any errors. Boom, we're going to install wirelessly. Keep your fingers crossed. Make sure I don't have any typos. Do 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 do. Little bit of horrible elevator music. This shouldn't take too long. It doesn't have to recompile the entire code. It's just going to compile the main CPP, which is already done. Now it's doing the linking, and then once the linking's done, it's going to start uploading. It's taking quite a while though. I don't remember it taking that long the last time I did it. There it goes. Getting ready to upload. Oh, it stopped at 2%. Sometimes it fails and then I have to redo it, and that's just because of the placement of the device. Sometimes it attaches to the wrong access point. Like it'll attach to one that's really far away instead of the one that's right in the garage next to it. And I can tell you right now, it is not going to work. All right, guys, let's just try to force a retry because something went wrong. There it goes. There it goes. Sometimes these devices and other devices, even my phone and computer, will flip-flop between some of my mesh access points that are, one of them's like upstairs in the back bedroom. Why would it all of a sudden decide it's going to switch to that one when the one sitting 15 feet away is the one with the best signal? I got to the point where for my laptop, I just ended up putting in an access point just for the laptops. Okay, let's see if it attaches. So here in a second, what's going to happen is it's going to start showing the logging, and we should see the truck pop up in there. That's okay. You can just ignore all those messages. Eventually, they'll pull in. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, there we go. I don't know what happened, guys. I don't know why. We've got the pop-up. Oh, we've got... Oh, we still only have the pop-up. Challenger. Where's the truck? Truck cannot pull, not connected. All right, guys, what we're going to do is just give this a little bit because it sometimes takes them a little while to connect up and start to show their data. So we'll give this a few minutes from me, and I'll check back on it, and I'll show you the results. All right, guys. So basically what I found out is these little ESP32s, I mean, they're pretty cool. They do a lot of cool stuff, but they kind of are limited into how many BLE clients they can handle at once, especially since these ones broadcast and then it just waits to hear something. And because of that, they broadcast constantly, like, I don't know, a second or even more than a second. So they're pretty quick. And I usually can get 3 going at a time. So you can see I had my Suburban, my Challenge, my pop-up down here. When I added the truck, even though the Suburban isn't even here, it was never even detecting the truck. And at some points, it was only detecting one at a time. It was doing the pop-up only, and then the Challenger wasn't showing up. Neither was the truck. And then all of a sudden, the Challenger showed up, but the truck never did. So just to make sure that this new device hasn't been updated with new firmware that changed the encryption, what I did was I just deleted all the Suburban and Challenger stuff from the top here, and I commented them out at the bottom here. I mean, I guess I could delete them down here too, but it's only reading the truck now. And let me go ahead and show you what we have. So let's go to the wireless logs, and now you can see it is actually sending the truck voltage, which is 12.45 volts, and that's exactly what we expect. So, as you can see, it does work. If you want to be able to monitor multiple vehicles using ESP Home, using this particular method with an ESP32, You're gonna have to use multiple ESP32 devices. I would say probably 2 vehicles per ESP32 device. And that should get you going just fine. But as you can see, it does work. It's freaking cool. So let me go ahead and show you what you're going to see now. So we're going to head and exit out of this. We're going to go up into just a developer console. I used to log in Grafana. So anyway, I ditched Grafana, and if I want to go back and look at historic data, they actually have a good interface now. So you can go in here and you can select your date range. I'm going to just do today from 45 p.m. I don't know which time exactly we started collecting data. Change this to 8:05 p.m. and we should be able to see what we've been collecting. So right now it's not a good graph because it's just fluctuating between 12.45 and 12.4. But it does show you it's collecting data. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you like my Challenger. Oh no. Because I removed the Challenger from ESP Home, it actually removed the entity. So I can't show you the Challenger. I hope it didn't delete the historic data. Uh-oh. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and add it back into ESP Home. And we are going to see, and we're going to see if it blew away the historic data. That would stink if it did. All right, guys. Keep your fingers crossed we didn't lose our historic data. That would stink, because I won't be able to show it to you. So it'll stink. Do 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 do. Do do do, compiling stuff. Blah bee blah blah blah. Oh my goodness, here we go. Alrighty, it's updating. I even took the cover off of the ESP32 enclosure and it didn't make any difference. Although you can actually see, I think in the code up at the top there, it shows you the how strong each sensor is. If it doesn't, you can actually add that information if you want to use it for debugging purposes. All right, the update is successful. Now it's just restarting it, and then it's going to connect back up to it in a second. And we should see historic data, I hope. Challenger connected successfully, 12.8 volts. All right, let's go back up here and in our developer tools and see, okay, the Challenger showed back up. Please have historic, oh no. Oh no, guys, we lost all our historic data. Oh no, 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 hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Sensor.challenge, watch this. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. Keep your fingers, guys. Keep your fingers crossed. Sensor.Challenger_voltage. Yeah, see, it's still there. It's still there. So the reason that happened is because I changed these names to be nicer short names. And this one is Challenger_battery_percentage. And so we should also see, yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's all back. Okay, let's go back to the voltage for now so I can show you the historic data. And you see right here, we didn't collect any. It's just the way the Challenger was parked. I actually had it in a different position. So let's go the 1st up to the 28th. Let's see it. Let's see what it looks like. Like I said, I may have gone back too far. I may have to See, I don't know right now. It might be crunching everything in the background. Oh, there we go. So this is actually pretty cool. What you can see, so like I said, it starts dropping old data, like in between. It starts only keeping certain points. So that looks like it started 2 weeks ago. So it must keep them up for keep 2 weeks worth of data, and then it starts aggregating the data. And that's why you see like really dark blue up in here. That's just a whole bunch of different points. But here's what's cool about this is you're seeing how it charges the battery. This right here might actually be, no, that can't be. I think it's always plugged in, so I don't know why these are real high over here and these are low. But anyway, this gives you a good idea of what it looks like. Let's go ahead and change our data to go to only 2 weeks. All right, well that doesn't help out a lot now, does it? But as you can see over here, this is as it's just left to sit. So yeah, these are as it's charging. So I don't know why sometimes it charges real high and then low. It's like going up, down, up, down, up, down. The other one had just gentle peaks. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I'm not NoCo. I don't know how they do their code. Let's go one day, 21st to the 22nd. So there, you can see how it like gives it a good big pulse of electricity, and then it calms down. So I don't know if that NoCo battery maintainer I have knows if it's a AGM or if it's lead acid. It might be able to detect. They're pretty smart little pieces of equipment. So it may actually charge an AGM differently than it does the lead acid. I don't know for sure. Don't quote, don't hold me to that. So, but what you are seeing is it charging. It's sending charge pulses and then backing back down, and that's just maintaining the charge. So that is it, guys. All right, guys, so if you have Home Assistant, I recommend always installing ESP Home as well, because you can do a lot of cool stuff with your ESP8266s and your ESP32s. This is just one of the little cool things you can do. If you can run ESP Home separate from Home Assistant, but I mean, it doesn't really give you the same ability. So I suppose you can log to other software yourself and monitor it separately, but I mean, why mess with that when you can just set it up in Home Assistant? It just integrates directly into it and it just works. All right, guys, one other thing I want to show you is that you can actually use this for automation. So let me go ahead and get to the automation. So let's go ahead and create a new automation. We're going to add a trigger. We're going to select our entity. We're going to say when the entity's value crosses a given threshold. So we're going to say Challenger. I'm using Challenger now because I have the other one for my truck offline. I don't have it in the code. So we're going to say when that Challenger's voltage is below, 12.1 volts, then add an action, and you're basically going to choose an action like notify. So you'll send up notification settings, set up a notification, and then you'll give it a message, give it a title, and you'll get a notification when the battery voltage drops below 12.1 volts. Now I'm oversimplifying it. There's a lot more to the automations for something like this. Like, you don't want to automate it to where every time it drops below 12.1 volts, you get an alert, because you'll end up getting an alert every time. So if it goes up to 12.2 and then it drops below 12.1 and then goes up over 12.2 below, see, you'll be getting multiple emails over and over and over again. So you have to set up your code in your automation to be smart about stuff like that. Now that's beyond the scope of this video, obviously. I can't go over how to use Home Assistant. It's just way too much. Even I don't have it memorized. I have to go and research it a bit. I have to go back and look at old code I have to be able to set it up. But it is great for automating stuff like that. So that's just one of the many cool little things you can do with Home Assistant to be able to help you monitor and be alerted about any issues with your vehicle batteries. All right, guys, so that is how you take one of those little BM300 battery monitors and integrate them either into Home Assistant with ESP Home or just use the little app on your phone to monitor the battery in your vehicle. Very helpful for me because I have several vehicles and I have the pop-up. And if you have the same problem where even if you don't have multiple vehicles, but you have a battery drain that you haven't been able to track down and fix, this is perfect for that because it's going to tell you when your battery is getting low. And you also have it to where you can go back and monitor it manually by opening the app. There are other apps that should be able to give you better monitoring abilities, probably be able to send yourself emails and things like that. ESP Home and Home Assistant is also going to give you great abilities to be able to automate everything with this. So you can use the automation in ESP Home like I showed you guys to, if the battery voltage drops below X percentage or X voltage, shoot me an email and it works great. I mean, everybody's always got their email on their hip and their phone. You're going to know the instant you get an alert that the voltage is low in your vehicle. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope that gets you guys to where you can monitor your own battery system in your vehicle yourself and take away all the headaches of coming out to a dead battery. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. Kevin's Way Works.